All these words they keep using to try and confuse us. GDP, economy, project pakisa, what? What are these words, eh? They speak all the time about valuing things, about giving the ocean value. But whose values are they talking about here? How can you try put a value on something that sustains life? Do you know what this word pakisa means? It means hurry up, shesha. But what good, I ask you, ever comes from rushing? No. The sea is telling us the opposite. It's telling us to slow down.
When I read that this exploration was going ahead, I wondered what my old man, Kana Marimutu, would make of the Petroleum Association of South Africa, PASA's Environmental Impact Assessment Report. He'd call their bullshit out straight away. Seriously, my boy, how you can expect to drill, scrape, and explode more than 4,600 kilometers of our coastline, 60 kilometers from the shore, and expect it not to have any detrimental risks? Yeah, and you know what their defense will be. They'll say all this mining will enrich us all. The poorest of the poor will benefit. But tell me something. Since when you actually saw a poor person benefiting from all those hundreds of years of land-based mining, eh? Hey, who are they trying to bluff here? You know these O's. They think you and I was born yesterday.
We came together to show them that the communities that make up this coastline are not a single group or a voice. We all have special relationships with our mother, uLwandle, different cultural beliefs and concerns. Our stories must be heard.
Back in the day, it was said there were more fish in the sea than there were grains of sand on the Durban beaches. And it frustrated my father to imagine the kind of abundance his parents once enjoyed. Some days it would get all too much and he'd throw down his rod and kick his chair across the beach. Hey, what's the bloody point of me sitting here waiting for my prodigal to bite when everything's been taken already? First it was the trawlers, now every day it's something new. The government selling our coastline for mining, throwing their waste and shit in the water, thinking us fisherfolk don't notice. But the sea remembers, my boy. It doesn't keep secrets, and in the end it throws everything back at us. And it's suffering now. So we can crack coconuts till our heart's content. We can light campfires and send out artists to the sea, but it doesn't make a difference. And it's not like the gods aren't listening. They're not the ones failing us. Yeah, it's the bloody people who are the problem. You know the speech we're sitting on, Niren? Huh? It's called the Bay of Plenty, right? Back in my father's day, that might have been the case, but now we should just write it off as the Bay of Empty.
In the final years of Gogo's life, she had begun to suffer from terrible nightmares. The apartheid government arrived and told our grandparents that they would need to be moved away so they could stabilize the sand dunes. And that when they were finished, we would be moved back to the land. But it was all a lie. There was nothing wrong with our sand dunes. Later, we learned that these companies had bribed the chiefs to keep the truth from us. They had known all along. By the time we had all realized what was happening, the mining trucks were already lined up along our beaches. And with them came the curse of Inkosazana. Traditional healers gathering muti in the forests and rock pools were told by these authorities that they now needed permits to abide by their ancestors' wishes. When they, of course, ignored these rules and continued as they always had in the past, many of them were arrested. Next came those fences, rising all over the place. Fences where they had never been before. How could you tell such a thing to my Gogo? Can you imagine? She refused to listen. She kept going to those rock pools at night when no one could see her. But on one of these evenings, she walked into a fence. A fence that cut her off from her pathways to the sea. Now, if uGogo wanted to get to the shore, she was told she would now have to travel the mining roads like everyone else. How was she to find the time and money for this? One night, uGogo, guided by her dreams, arrived at her beach, but was forced to shield her eyes against the brightness of those lights. Where before she had been greeted by the whispers of the ocean, now all she could hear and see were machines rattling into the night and swallowing up her beaches. uGogo could no longer carry out her life's calling. Without her muti to heal them, the people in the village grew sick. And in the end, the voice which guided uGogo went silent.